Hello everyone, welcome back. It's me, Thomas Murphy Cosplay, and today we will be looking at my updated Red Eyes Black Dragon deck profile for July 2025. So let's release the Red Eyes. So I just want to let everyone know that this is not a competitive deck that is used for tournaments and stuff. This is just a casual deck, even though that not many people are a fan of it. And no, I don't consider myself a meta player at all. And also, what I did with this deck is that I only just shrunken down the cards, because previously when I showed you guys the deck, it was basically a 59 card deck, but now I've reduced it to 52. I know it's not much, but it's better than having the cards to be more close to 60, but I tried to reduce the amount, and basically I'm just using my favorite Red Eyes cards. So there are a few cards that I have gotten rid of because I wasn't really good at or successful with using the cards that I wanted to use. So I did try to use the Metamorph cards, and I wasn't really successful on summoning Black Full Metal Dragon, and because of the fact that when it's face down, it keeps getting blown up by card effects. Anyways, onto the deck. We got, obviously, 3 copies of Red Eyes Black Dragon. This Red Eyes Black Dragon card I had this 20 years ago when I was 6 years old. So I was very young when I had this one. This particular one from the starter deck, Joey. I run 3 copies of Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. Basically, it is it's a level 6, but you can special summon it by sending a normal monster that's levels 5 or higher to the graveyard, and you can summon this for free in your hand. And when you summon it that way, you can actually use it, you can actually increase its level by 7, so that's actually a really good card to play. And it's also good fusion material if you want. And when this is banished, you can banish this card from the graveyard and play out and grab a Red Eyes Fusion either from your hand, from your deck, or your graveyard. Yeah, so it's actually pretty cool. One thing I gotta tell you is that I'm only using my favorite Red Eyes cards. I don't know if I've said it or not earlier, but yeah, just I don't know if I had said it or not, but yeah, I'm only using my favorite Red Eyes cards that I do know how to actually use and been very good with. Been pretty good with. 3 copies of Black Metal Dragon. It's an equip card that can also search if you want. So when you have this on the field and it got sent to the graveyard, no matter how it was sent to the graveyard, you can add any Red Eyes card from your deck anyway, so you can do that. And it's also basically, when you equip it to any Red Eyes card, you can actually use the effects of, it's basically increases the attack points by 600, and it's good with another monster, which we will see later. Oh yeah, another thing about for Black Meteor Dragon is that when it's a level 7 by the summoning effects, you can use it for Xyz material, so that's good. Anyways, we'll get on to my doubles. So I play 2 copies of Dark Magician, which obviously I use Dark Magician to make Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. This Dark Magician card right here originally was originally my brother's Dark Magician when we were younger. So yeah, just for a little bit of a nostalgia. And of course I have the Dark Side Dimensions Dark Magician. 2 copies of Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon. Now my Red Eyes deck is mainly about like summoning normal monsters and doing basically to do with normals and Geminis, but this is really good if you want an extra level 7 Red Eyes monster for fusion materials, fusion summoning, or Xyz summoning if you want. This is why I use Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon anyway. So this is to do with using normal monsters. I mean, like, you can make Red Eyes cards in all different ways, like make a Red Eyes Primate, a Red Eyes Predaplant, a Red Eyes Toon Deck. There's a lot of things, really. Or the Red Eyes Metalmorph cards. Anyways, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Lord of the Red. Lord of the Red is basically, is a ritual monster, but every time when a card effect has been activated, you can instant destroy anything. Like, say, if your opponent was playing pendulums, you can break their pendulum scales with this card. Or if there was a spell or trap card you wanted to destroy, you can use this. So that's actually a really good card. I do love using it. Next, I play 1 copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. It is basically, when you play this card, you can just summon any dragon monster from your graveyard that can be summoned by other ways. The whole can't be special summoned by any other ways. But yeah, you get a free monster, a free dragon to have out on the field if you want. So it is really nice to have, and good for other dragon decks if you want. I play a single copy of Red Eyes Alternative Black Dragon. This one has a similar way to summon Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, which I've just mentioned earlier, but it also has the added effect that you can actually, if this gets destroyed and you summon another Red Eyes Black Dragon, the attack points of that Red Eyes Black Dragon gets doubled. It's also good for Xyz material as well, and fusion materials. You can actually, difference between the summoning methods of Black Meteor Dragon and Alternative Black Dragon is that you can use this, you basically send any Red Eyes monster from your hand to the graveyard, where Black Meteor Dragon is basically any normal monster who's levels 5 or higher, straight from the deck or hand to the graveyard. So, yeah, kind of a decent way of summoning it. Next, I play a Dark Arm Dragon. Dark Arm Dragon, basically, you get a free level 7, so I use this for Xyz summoning because normally I'm playing dark monsters anyway, and this is all about summoning your dark attributed cards. So if you have 3 or more dark attributed monsters, you can just get a free summon. So you could play this, and then if you have another level 7 Red Eyes, you can overlay and Xyz summon one of your rank 7s, which we will get to soon. 1 copy of Gearfried the Iron Knight, Red Eyes Iron Knight. Gearfried the Red Eyes Iron Knight, I'm sorry people. 1 copy, it's good for your Red Eyes Black Metal Dragon, because when you play Red Eyes Black Metal Dragon, equip it to Red Eyes Gearfried. Gearfried basically you can destroy the Black Metal Dragon, and I can destroy any spell or trap card on the field, and not only that, I can actually bring out a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster. Sorry. Using that, and when I use when Black Metal Dragon gets destroyed because of Gearfried's effect, I can summon out, add any Red Eyes monster I want from my hand, from my deck to my hand. So that's actually a really cool way to play, to special summon your level 7 monsters when you have Black Metal Dragon and Gearfried. I play 1 copy of Flameveil Guard. That's basically just a level 1 normal tuner dragon, which is pretty easy to get out. Well, not really easy, but it's good anyway. Pretty good card to have, which I only use it for just one synchro monster, so basically another level 1 you can have on the field. And I play a single copy of Blackstone Legend. I only play one Blackstone Legend because of the fact that I felt like I don't really need Blackstone Legend all that much. I mean, it's a good card, but I only use it when I want to send a Red Eyes monster back to the deck from my graveyard, so I can do more summoning ways. Yeah, so this is basically when this is sent to the graveyard, you can add this back to your hand, plus send one of your Red Eyes monsters from your graveyard back into the deck, shuffle it back in, and yeah, you can do that. So that's it for monster cards. Let's get down to hand traps. Now, for hand traps, I kind of slowed down with some hand traps, but because like last time I put 3 Ash Blossoms, 3 Ghost Ballets, and I was like, and one of my mates told me, that's a little bit too much anyway, so yeah, I get to say that. Even though, yes, I'm playing 3 copies of Dark Honest. Dark Honest because of the fact that I'm using Dark Attributed monsters, and not many Red Eyes monsters do stand a chance against a lot of monsters that are over 3,000. So I thought it'd be cool to have Dark Honest, since basically when when a dark monster that I control is battling another monster, that other monster that it's battling loses its attack points, and so they basically lose the attack points and lose their monster at the same time. So if this if I had my normal Red Eyes Black Dragon on the field, and it is going to get attacked by something bigger, whether it be I don't know, a dragon level 10, it attacks through, I discard this, and that armed dragon basically loses all of its attack points and gets destroyed by battle, and my Red Eyes Black Dragon is safe, and also could give your opponent a ton of life point damage, so that's actually pretty cool. So it works well with your dark monsters as well. I know that not many people are a fan of using Dark Honest, but I like it personally. I play 2 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom basically stops your opponent from grabbing anything from their main deck. So whether it be Foolish Burial, stops your opponents from doing Foolish Burial or adding a monster or any card from the deck to the hand, or special summoning from the deck. So yeah, pretty cool card to have. Ghost Ballet Haunted Mansion, same thing, that similar thing for Ash Blossom, but instead of from the deck, it is from the graveyard. So basically stops your opponents from summoning monsters from the graveyard or or anything really. So yeah, pretty cool card to have as well. So basically stops your opponent from grabbing anything from the graveyard where they want to. So whether they want to use Monster Reborn or anything like that. 2 copies of Effect Veiler. Basically, basically what it says is discard this, and you can just stop any monster effects until the end phase. I think, yeah, until the end of the turn. Until the end of the turn. Sorry. So that's all for hand traps. We'll get down to the spell cards and the traps. Right, for spell cards, we have 3 copies of Red Eyes Fusion. Now, this is actually what I use to fusion summon my Red Eyes Fusion monsters, of course. You can not just use materials from your hand or the field, you can actually use monsters from the deck, which is actually pretty funny and cool. But the real big con is that when you play this card, you can't summon anything else, which is kind of a bummer, but still a really good fusion spell card, and I love using this. And plus, it is searchable, which is really good. We have 3 copies of Inferno Fireblast. One thing I forgot to say is that for Red Eyes Fusion is that when you fusion summon a monster with Red Eyes Fusion, that fusion monster's name becomes Red Eyes Bee Dragon, which works so well for my 3 Inferno Fireblasts. So if I had 2 of those in my hand as well as this, I can just FTK and win, which is really, really awesome to do. So it only works with Red Eyes Bee Dragon, but you can't attack with the same monster that uses Inferno Fireblast. Understandable, but pretty good. Now, 2 copies of Cards of the Redstone. It's just like a level 7 Red Eyes version of your traders. So basically, play this, discard a Red Eyes, level 7 Red Eyes, and draw 2 cards, which is nice. 2 copies of Claw of Hermos, my second favorite fusion spell card, which I keep forgetting that I'm like, oh wait, I forgot this is a fusion spell card. But yeah, Claw of Hermos, you probably know what I use it with is, which we will get onto in the extra deck. It is a fusion spell that can make the equipped monster that it's listing, so that's really cool. 2 copies of Red Eyes Transmigration, another Red Eyes spell card that is searchable as well with the Black Metal Dragon, which I've showed you earlier that it's used to make Lord of the Red, so that's really cool. 2 copies of Dragon Revival Rhapsody, since the fact that we will be looking at the extra deck and see why I use those cards. So it's basically, if you have a spellcaster on the field, you can play this and summon 1 or 2 monsters, only if one of the monsters is a normal monster, so that's actually not going to be a problem. 1 copy of Red Eyes Insight, basically send a Red Eyes monster from the hand or deck to the graveyard and search for any Red Eyes card you need. So that includes Red Eyes Fusion and Red Eyes Transmigration. 1 copy of Called by the Grave. Yes, that is a hand trap, which I forgot to mention. But it is a spell card. It is a spell card at the same time, but basically what you do is when your opponent activates a hand trap, you can play this and banish that hand trap from the graveyard. If you when that happens anyway. 1 copy of Super Rejuvenation. That is an optional card. You can actually use it. You don't have to, but this is something that I'd like to have out in case I don't have many cards in my hand. So basically, every dragon that's been sent to the graveyard from your hand or field to the graveyard, you can draw that same amount if you want. So that's actually really good. If I wanted to prepare myself for my opponent's next turn, I can use this, and hopefully that'll grab out some of my hand traps. 1 copy of Raigeki, so basically destroy some monsters that can't be destroyed by battle, but can be destroyed by card effects, or just wipe out the field and win. 1 copy of Wingbeat of Giant Dragons, basically play this, grab one of your Red Eyes Dragons back to your hand from the field, and you could also play Cards of the Redstone for a little combo. 1 copy of 1-for-1 for my Blackstone Legend, my Black Metal Dragon, or my Flameveil Guard. So you can discard any card on the field, on the hand, sorry, and then summon any level 1 monster you need. And finally, 1 copy of Monster Reborn. And that is all for spell cards. Let's get on to the traps. For trap cards, we're only playing 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence. I don't know how to pronounce it really, but it's just basically, if you don't have any cards on the field, you can instantly play this and basically stop your opponent from doing anything while you don't have any cards on the field. So basically that for the rest of the turn, all spelling cards are negated, but if I control no cards, of course, you can activate this card from my hand, so that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, so I only use 2 copies, and it is a bit of a lifesaver, which is nice. Now, for extra decks, I'm running 1 copy of Relinquished Anima. This is a Link 1 that requires 1 level 1 monster, which goes really well with my Black Metal Dragon. So when I play this on the field, I contribute it and Link summon Relinquished Anima. It's also a spellcaster that I can use Dragon Revival Rasfidi, but when I Link summon Relinquished Anima with Black Metal Dragon, I can use Black Metal Dragon's search effect, which is actually really nifty to do. And also the fact that when it points to a monster, I can take control of the monster that Relinquished Anima is pointing to and gain its attack points. So it's a pretty cool card to play, along with using Dragon Revival Rasfidi at the same time as using Black Metal Dragon. So, yeah, pretty nice card. 2 copies of Wee Witch's Apprentice. It's another spellcaster, so you can use Dragon Revival Rasfidi with this, but also the fact that when this is on the field, all dark monsters on the field gain 500, but all light monsters lose 400. So it's a really nice card to play, and it's really cool that when it's sent to the graveyard, or I think destroyed by battle card effects, hold up. Yeah, destroyed by battle card effects, I can grab any dark monster from my graveyard and add it to my hand. So it's a really nice card to play, and it requires 2 dark attribute monsters, obviously, since this deck does rely on dark attributed monsters. 1 copy of Decode Talker. It's basically a really cool Link monster, and it's one of my personal favorites. And it basically does is gains attack points for every card that it points to, so it's really nice to have. I play a single copy of Number 11 Big Eye, which Number 11 Big Eye, another spellcaster, obviously for this, and the fact that when you play this, since it requires 2 level 7s, it's a rank 7, you can detach a material, and you can take control of any monster your opponent controls, so that's actually really cool to play. And of course, Dark Attribute. Gotta love Dark Attributed monsters when it's Red Eyes or Dark Magician. But use this, and you can basically take control of one of my opponent's monsters, and it's actually really cool to do. So it's kind of like a rank 7 version of your Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon. Now, getting on to my favorite Xyz monster, which is also one of the cards that I'm mostly supporting besides Lord of the Red. We'll get on to more cards that we're supporting, is Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. Basically, it requires 2 level 7 monsters, which is actually really fun to do, and it's a card that drives people insane because of its effect that every time when your opponent activates a card effect, I can instant burn my opponent for 500, and the fact that so many people would trigger every single effect while trying to play a combo that would OTK me. It's basically trimming down the life points, so every time your opponent breathes, they lose 500, so it's really hilarious to use. And that when you detach material, you can summon any Red Eyes normal monsters, so that's how Black Flare Dragon and your normal Red Eyes Black Dragon comes in anyway. So it's pretty cool to have those. I'm playing one copy of Stardust Dragon, which Stardust Dragon, since I basically have level 1s and level 7s, I'm mostly playing those. You can actually grab out your Flameveil Guard, tune Flameveil Guard with your level 7 Red Eyes Black Dragon, and you can make Stardust Dragon, which Stardust Dragon helps with protecting some of your good monsters from being destroyed by card effects, whether it be a Mirror Force, Raigeki, or a Burst Stream of Destruction, anything that would destroy any monster I control. So it's a really nice card to play. Now, for fusions, we got 2 copies of the Dragon Killing Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword, which is the reason why I'm running 2 copies of Chlorophomos, 1 for each of those. And you can equip it to any monster you like, but I like equipping it to Lord of the Red, personally, because of the fact that you can equip this, and every time when I'd send a dragon to the graveyard or summon a dragon, that actually triggers Lord of the Red's effect, which can instant destroy anything. So it's a really cool thing to do, and the fact that you can equip this to Lord of the Red, and you can take down any big monster. I can basically take down any big monster my opponent controls, whether it be a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, or Supreme King Dragon Zark, or any Egyptian Guard card, or Sacred Beasts, or Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, anything that's has more attack points than the next monsters we will be looking at. The final monster we'll be looking at after this. So it's really cool. So I basically equip it to any monster and can basically gain attack points for every dragon on both players' field and graveyard. So it's really good, and I love equipping it to Lord of the Red, which I feel is more fitting for this. Now, I play 2 copies of Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, obviously for the Red Eyes Fusion spell, and it is another card that's also good with Dragon Revival Rasphody, but I mainly play it as a last resort, or when I have Dragon Revival Rasphody, and it is a pretty broken card. It is basically, what you do is basically instant destroy any monster my opponent controls, and it loses life points equal to it anyway. So if I went up and instant destroy a monster that's basically 3,500, my opponent loses 3,500. So it's really cool, and every time when your opponent activates a card effect, you can discard 1 card and negate and destroy it. And also, to add a bonus, it gains 1,000 attack points for every time it does that effect. So it's actually a really crazy card to use, but pretty fun to play. Now I'm playing 2 copies of Meteor Black Comet Dragon, my boss monster and my favorite Red Eyes Fusion monster. Anyways, this is when the spell card Inferno Fireblast comes to play, because of the fact that Red Eyes Fusion, it basically renames your Fusion Summon Red Eyes card Red Eyes B Dragon, which goes well with Inferno Fireblast. Says target 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon. But that's not all. So when you fusion summon this, you can actually send any Red Eyes card from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and basically does burn damage, half the attack points of that monster that was sent to the graveyard. So I could get out my Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, which is a 2,800 attack point monster. So my opponent loses 1,400 attack life points, and I could add, and if I had 2 Inferno Fire Blast cards, I can just auto win. Since this is a 3500 attack point monster, that's insane. That's like really insane. The fact that, and a really cool thing is that if I had the Claw of Hermos and Red Eyes Transmigration and Lord of the Red, since them two have the same level, so if this was sent to the graveyard, I can bring out any normal monster I want. So if I play Red Eyes Transmigration, send this to the grave, play Lord of the Red, then bring out my Red Eyes Black Dragon, play Claw of Hermos, use Red Eyes Black Dragon, and use the Red Eyes Black Dragon sword anyway. So there's a really cool summoning combo you can do with it as well later on, but yeah. You can also use Dark Honest if you want with this, since of course it is a dark attribute, and that actually works pretty well with this. So yeah, that's all for my Red Eyes deck. The only Red Eyes cards that I'm actually relying on the most is Dragoon, the Black Dragon Sword, Meteor Black Comet Dragon, Lord of the Red, and Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. That's what I'm mainly supporting and mainly relying on, since this is a deck that's basically using my personal favorite Red Eyes cards, as I mentioned earlier. Sorry, it's just got a lot out of my breath. My lungs feel really dry. My lungs feel dry after explaining everything. Anyways, thank you so much. I hope you guys like my Red Eyes deck, and feel free to share your opinions on it. And yeah, I will catch you next time, and I hope you guys like it. Bye!